Hey everyone, I'm Jeremy. Welcome to Telon Times, the show all about the classic MMORPG Vanguard Saga of Heroes. This week we have some exciting news. We have some updates about the free-to-play conversion. We have some information about exactly what might happen with how the matrix will work, which is the pricing system between everywhere from free to subscription based, pretty much. Some of the restrictions you'll have as a free-to-play player, you know, covering bag slots and bank slots and everything else, and a little bit of news on when the transition will happen. So to start with, we have a lot of information on particulars of when the of what will happen in the conversion. So like there's going to basically be free to play, and then there'll be pretty much a gold membership. They're doing what they call a matrix, which Sony Online Entertainment did with EverQuest 2. The only thing is they're pretty much dropping their silver membership, so it's either free or gold, and gold is pretty much like paying a subscription, so you're going to get everything you get in the you know, from paying a subscription to any kind of a game. And so basically you have everything, and then you have free to play, which will have the restrictions. And the restrictions, there's a handful of restrictions. Some might not like, or some might be able to live with. Characters, as far as characters go, you'll be able to have 4 character slots. Gold memberships have 12, but there's a little bit of and ifs involved. If you have say a membership that you had previous to the free-to-play conversion, then you as a player will retain all your characters, none of them will be wiped, and you'll get to keep the 12 slots. So it sounds to me like that's going to be happening to a lot of people. It sounds to me like everybody who's had a subscription up until now, which is probably, you know, a lot of people in the past, will have their characters when they come back, and depending on the conversion, or depending on what their status is, whether they're currently subbed or not, the conversion will be seamless. So if they're not currently paying, they'll just be a free-to-play player with 12 character slots, though, because they've had a previous sub sometime in the past. I don't know if there's a limit for how far back in the past. They did just refer to, they said as an example, even if you had a trial membership from months ago. And that's another thing. The trial accounts will be disappearing, but you don't lose them. They'll just be seamlessly transitioned, pretty much in the same way I just said. There's going to be things like coin limits and bag limits. The bag limits, how many bags you can carry. Like, I think I have one, not counting my main general inventory, I have 4 bag slots. Free to play will have a limit of 2 slots. So gold memberships will have all 4. Bank, I think a bank is usually like 1 page, and I think it's a lot of slots, like 75. Free to play players will be limited to 25. And what else do we have here? We have limitations on some of the features in the game. Free-to-play players will not have access to housing, fishing, brotherhoods, or caravans. Basically, you can visit other people's houses, but you can't own your own house. And you can't fish. And I think that might be, you know, fishing, I think in Vanguard, fishing is kind of a big deal. It's kind of neat, because it's kind of robust, and it has that big ranking system attached to it. So which really makes it fun. I mean, it's been allowing players to like hold their own player-made events and have fishing tournaments and stuff. It's kind of fun, you know. Plus, you can fish from your boat. And as far as boats go, they didn't mention boats at all, which is actually something that I just now considered. I'm going to just guess here. I don't know. What do you think they'll do with boats? Maybe they'll treat boats the same as houses. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they didn't say on their producer's letter or in the Matrix. So, yeah, so we got the limited slots, the limited bag. Oh, you won't be able to access, you won't be able to sell on the broker, but you can buy from the broker. Free-to-play players also won't be able to send mail, but they can receive mail. And as far as items you can equip, you can only equip common, designated common items. You can't have like legendary or anything better than common, basically. Now there's kind of a limit, big limit on the classes and races that you can start with as a free-to-play player, because if you've seen any of my previous Telon Times, you'll know that there's 15 classes and I think 19 races in the game. And that's a lot. That's a lot for any kind of MMO, especially newer MMOs that you know, had been, you know, the MMO industry kind of backed off on that, and now they're starting to grow again with their selection and variety. But you're going to be limited to, I believe, like 7 classes and 6 races as a free-to-play player. So there'll be a limit you'll see on there. You'll only be able to choose from 7 different classes and 6 different races. You won't have access to all of them. I don't know about purchasing individual races or classes. I know in EverQuest 2 you have that ability. You can just open up a particular class, but I imagine that's going to be possible because later on they did say that certain features and systems and content will be offered a la carte. So that, you know, that sounds to me like, yeah, it's very possible that they'll add that. Add things like buying individual classes and individual races, which that would be kind of cool. A la carte is typically a very nice payment system for anything. I really, really wish television companies would offer TV channels a la carte. So what else do we have? Visit the housing, oh, there's a coin limit. Now this is going to be a tough one. This is, I think, a stickler for people in EverQuest 2. Coin limit, you're going to have a coin limit of 1 plat. You won't be able to carry more than 1 plat total. And that's going to be a big limitation. That's a huge limitation in EverQuest 2, the coin limit. I mean, that's pretty big. So I wouldn't be surprised if some people are upset over that. That's their choice. It's, you know, EverQuest 2 has been kicking, you know, ever since they've had their in their matrix. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what you guys think. Just let me know in the comments below. Quest count, you can only have up to 15 quests going at a time, as opposed to the gold memberships who can have 50, which is a lot. But you know, as far as quest limitation, that, you know, that doesn't seem to bother me too much. What do you think? Because to me, quest limitation is like, not that huge of a deal. So to better explain this 12-slot deal, basically, any player who had a sub like I was saying before, any player that had a subscription before and has characters will have 12 character slots on the new account regardless of their membership type. So only brand new people that have just come to the game for the first time, and they're brand new to Vanguard, and they start for the very first time and create an account, and they create a free account, they will only have 4 character slots. So, payment options. No credit cards required for free-to-play players. I'm stuck in a loop here. So, no credit card will be required to sign up to play for free. You can just, sign up and have fun right away. But there are going to be lots of options, especially if you understand or are familiar with EverQuest 2 and their payment option, which is kind of cool. It's always good to have multiple payment options. You'll be able to pay via credit card or station cash card or by PayPal or even SMS, which is text, which is like paying via phone. Vanguard will have a marketplace. They did say that, and that's now here's something they did admit to. They did say the marketplace would include things like mounts, illusions, house items, bags, armor, XP potions, and more. So what do you guys think about that? Seems to me that that's pretty standard. In EverQuest 2, they've already gone the way of selling mounts and armor and stuff like that. It seems to work out okay. I mean, and it doesn't really say exactly what kind of mounts these are, like and what if there be a restriction, because even in the items, even the mounts in EverQuest 2, even though you can buy them, they'll still have some limitations like that go in line with the game rules. Like you can buy a mount, you can buy a flying Pegasus, but you won't be able to use it until you're at least like level 80, because you need to be able I think at least level 80 before you can use a flying mount. So there might be restrictions like that. There is no limit on level cap though. The level cap is 55 in Vanguard. That won't change for anyone. Free-to-play players will have access to all content. They can go anywhere they want in the game, and they can go all the way up to level 55, and I think that's very cool. Vanguard, I think if you're a new player watching this and listening to me for the first time, I think this means more. This has more impact than when Sony Online Entertainment released this option in EverQuest 2, or even if other games tell you this kind of stuff. I think this means more, in my opinion. You veterans, let me know what your opinion is in the comments. My opinion is it matters more because the game world is so expansive. This game world is huge. Now here's the 3 different continents, and this is just on the surface of these continents. This doesn't count, numerous underground areas, 90+ dungeons, floating islands, floating content. You can go way up into the air. You can go way, way up there. So, to me, that's kind of a big deal. This is kind of an explorer's dream, and and here's something that I think is worth considering, and I think that's the same for EverQuest 2. Is on the crafting side of things. They haven't mentioned much of anything about crafting. The only thing even close to crafting they've mentioned so far in this is that you'll be able to buy house items from the new Vanguard marketplace that will be put in. And you know, crafting is an area that's heavy on crafting house items and materials to build houses as it is. So that's kind of related. But other than that, you know, housing, and they haven't mentioned diplomacy yet at all either. I'm guessing the armor restrictions and stuff like that are probably going to automatically apply because of the three spheres of gameplay, because diplomacy, crafting, adventuring all have their own sets of armor, their own gear, and stuff like that. But it's going to be interesting to see what more detailed restrictions and stuff come into play as we get ever closer to the free-to-play launch. And also, you can help them for the next few weeks. They said you can help them on the test server. So they're implementing changes right now that you can be a part of. You can get on the test server. Most veterans are already aware of this, and get on and test this thing out, help them work on it, and throw in your advice. It's a really good way to have your voice heard. So if you really have strong feelings about any of it, you know, get on the test server and then share them, you know. Let them know by being actively participating in it. So that brings me to the date that the conversion is actually going to happen, which they still did not actually release a specific date. But, you know, they did say help on the test server over the next several weeks. So I know that's vague. You know, it's not telling a whole lot, but I didn't expect them to come out with a release date yet anyways. But you know what? They've been doing a ton of stuff. They've really been ramping up the development. A lot of changes have been going in. I noticed some skills and spells in low-level characters and classes have been disappearing and changing. I noticed recent patch notes where my rogue had a couple of his skill power increased. So, you know, there's all that. And I'm sure we'll see a lot more as things approach. So that about does it. That covers the restrictions, some stuff they said about the marketplace, things like the character slots. Oh, there is an area to cover about if you're a gold membership who decides to quit paying the membership, then what happens to things, you know? Well, one interesting thing, I think, is if you have a gold membership, you have access to all the many races and classes. Well, let's say you're a person who's new to the game, so that the gift of being able to retain 12 slots regardless doesn't come into effect here. We're talking about people who are brand new, so they're subject to the brand new matrix, which is free to play is 4 slots, gold membership is 12 slots. So they right away they start with 12 slots and paying a gold membership, create like 7 characters, and then they go back, they stop paying the recurring fee, and they go back to free to play. Only the top 4 slots will become available, will stay available. So whatever characters are in the top 4 slots, those are the ones that will stay. But there's also the restriction that you have limited races and classes. So any race and class that wasn't available to free-to-play players will be locked out. So there's the potential of having all your characters suddenly locked out and unavailable to you. That's assuming that the 4 top slots are characters that you just made up of races and classes that are all only within the gold membership. And I'm sure you'll be able to figure this out once the game launches, because they'll probably tell you exactly what's available and what's not for each tier, whether free or membership. So you can use that to you know, maybe help prevent, I don't know, but yeah, you don't want to have all your characters suddenly locked out, because then you'll have all top 4 slots will be filled, but they'll be filled with characters you can't use because they're not part of the free-to-play. They're not part of the classes and races available to free-to-play. So what are you going to do? You're going to just delete one of those or pay, you know? So I don't know. I can see some players getting upset, but I think if you just, you know, prepare and pay attention to what classes are available for free versus gold, you know, maybe you could work that out. But it's still going to happen, I think. It's still going to happen. It'll be interesting. That's something else. You can let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm kind of interested to hear what other people think about that. And housing, if you had a house during gold membership, you'll lose the ability to pay upkeep, because houses take upkeep. And then after you lose the ability to pay upkeep, pretty much standard in-game rules apply. Whatever, you know, the normal thing that happens to a house if you fail to pay upkeep is you'll lose it. So I believe it will literally disappear, and you might even lose that plot too. I'm not positive on that. Veterans will have to correct me on that. And you know, so that's normal. They're just going to lock you out from being able to pay the upkeep, so you're going to lose it. So maybe that's what will happen with boats too. I don't know, because boats become like an item you can keep in your bag. So maybe boating will be different. We'll see. And I think that's going to about do it. If you have any other questions or comments, let me know in the space below. You can always get a hold of me on Twitter. I'm at Jeremy_Stratton. You can find me on Google, Jeremy Stratton. I also have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/justonemore, spelled MMORE. And my website is www.justonemore, also spelled MMORE. All those links will be in the description below. And let me know what you think. And if I forgot anything, I'll make sure to include it. I'm pretty sure I got everything covered. Oh, you can't form a guild, but you can join guilds. As you can only use say-tell. You can use say-tell group and guild chat. That's all you can use as a free-to-play player. I already said the bag slots, the bank slots. You can't fish, use housing brotherhoods or caravans. So that looks like it's going to wrap up this week of Telon Times. And so again, just let me know your questions and comments, and let me know what you think about those questions I asked, because I'm curious to find out what you guys think. And I'll see you guys next week.